What it do, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Tonight, as you can see, we are swapping the front forks. As I told you before, one of those forks has a caliper bolt broken into it. It's not the OEM. The previous owner had adjustable straps on the front of the bike, and I'm assuming they came with their own bolts, and one of those bolts actually broke on them. I had an extra set of forks laying around, so I just decided to go ahead and use those, and maybe I'll be able to extract that bolt at a later time. But since we do have the front end off, I decided I'll just go ahead and put the headers on, the oil cooler, and everything else that's missing in that front area so we can get started working on the front of this bike. All right, guys, now that we have that done, we can move on to installing the forks. All right, guys, now that we have the forks in, I'm going to take our ruler. The front will be lowered a little bit because in order for me to do test rides, I'd like to feel comfortable on the bike, and I'm not the tallest guy in the world, so Ruby is lowered a little bit, and I'm going to lower this bike a little bit. If whoever buys the bike wants the bike at stock height, you know, we can work that out, but as of right now, I'm just going to have the bike lowered because I don't know how long it's going to take me to sell the bike, so I do plan on riding the bike. That's the best way that I can properly test ride it and make sure it has no issues. All right, guys, so now that we have forks in, I have this fork set to 40 millimeters. I'm going to match that fork, but first, since we already have the height that we want, I'm going to lock everything back in with the pinch bolts. There's two on the lower triple, one on the clip-on, and then one on the upper triple too. So I already tightened the one down. Well, no, I didn't. So I still have to tighten the one down for the clip-on that comes through the top of the triple tree. Then 1, 2, 3, 4 more. All right, so we're copacetic on this side. Let's move on to the other side. So at this point, we got both of our forks in. We're ready to put the wheel on. I'm not going to do the brake calipers yet because since this bike only had one brake line, I'm going to go ahead and get both brake lines at a factory OEM so that they will match. Plus, I need another caliper on this side anyway. All right, guys, so I got the bike back up on the lift. And unfortunately, I was not able to put that other rotor on the other side, nor the caliper. I have a spare set. I'm going to just have to locate them. I do so much moving around with these bikes and these parts, man, that I've misplaced them somewhere. I have a whole set, and I have no idea where I put them. They may be outside in the shed. They may be in here somewhere hiding. I just don't know. I'll find them eventually, though. Since we do have the bike back on the lift, we're just going to keep moving forward with the things that we can do. I took off the coolant reservoir, and I'm cleaning that out right now. Unfortunately, I won't be able to flush the radiator until I start the bike up. We got the bike up on the lift. We got the headers and the wall pipe installed. We got the radiator and the cooler back installed. And I added the air intake duct. So from here, I may just go ahead and start putting those brake lines on anyway, so that when I find that caliper and rotor, I can just go ahead and throw those on, and that'll be one less thing that I have to do. All right, so you can see here, this is where the Y pipe comes out and the muffler connects right here, but there's nothing for the muffler to hang on because right here, there should be a little bracket that extends out. But luckily, I have that bracket on the 2016. And man, I can tell you, after taking all these parts off the 2016, it's looking less likely that I will rebuild that bike after all. Unless I can find another crash bike at the auction that has a majority of the parts that I need for it. Alright guys, the parts bike came to the rescue once again. So we're just gonna clean this up a little bit. So while we're letting that muffler hanger soak for a little while, as I said before, I went ahead and cleaned the fuel tank reservoir out. Looks like it's pretty clean now, so go ahead and dump that out. So looking under the airbox, the bike has Graves block off plates. It's pretty filthy down there. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull the spark plugs. Since I'm here, I'll go ahead and give those a look. So we got the plugs removed and they're not too bad, except they're wet with oil. But other than that, not too bad. All right, guys, now that we got that airbox stuff taken care of, we got the spark plugs removed. I did go ahead and clean those spark plugs. I just didn't do it on camera. But the spark plugs are cleaned. Air filter has been cleaned-ish. But all that stuff has been put back into the bike. Airbox has been put back on. So now let's go ahead and reinstall this ABS system, which includes the front brake lines for sure. I'm not positive if I'm going to get to the rear brake lines, but if I have enough time, I'll go ahead and knock out the rear brake lines as well. All right, guys, so now that we got the brake lines out of the way, we can go ahead and remove this rear swing arm, which I probably should have done before I did the rear brakes, but it is what it is. So the way that the bike is going to be supported is kind of unorthodox, but because I have the bike on the bike lift, my bike jack won't fit on the bike lift and support the bike the way that I want it to and be able to raise it. So because the bike is on the bike lift, I'm unable to put my bike jack underneath and raise the bike up. So I used my rear bike stand, raised the bike up, removed the rear wheel, and supported the bike with these jack stands underneath the front foot pegs. But when you do this, you have to be careful, because if you shift this bike too much, it could possibly fall off of these jack stands. But as long as you're not doing way too much movement with it, it should be okay. Alright guys, so after removing the swing arm from the 2019, and I put Ruby's swing arm on the bike, that's what you saw, the swing arm that went back on. That was the swing arm from Ruby because it was in better condition than the one that came off the 2019. But in the process, I installed the R1M swing arm onto Ruby, the one with the brushed nickel. And I gotta say, I hated it. I just did not like the way that it looked with my paint scheme. And I even put carbon fiber swing arm covers on, and I still did not like it. So I think what we're gonna do is remove both of these swing arms back from both of these bikes. I'm gonna go ahead and repaint both of the black swing arms, you know, give them a fresh coat of paint. With Ruby, I am still gonna run that carbon fiber swing arm cover, but I'm gonna go ahead and just resurface both of these swing arms, give them a fresh coat of paint, and have them just looking a little bit better. but not today because unfortunately we are out of time. It's been a long day. I have to go to work tomorrow, get up at 4 o'clock. So on the next one, we should be knocking out these swing arms and whatever else we can do to the bike. So until then, salute.
我的腿，我想说就说，没有人在意我穿过的河。你被修女下，你和外小亏，像测试别急别动歪脑。